Managing devices and device drivers. These device drivers is a small software programs that allows a computer to communicate with its hardware or devices. A hardware device works only if its device driver is installed correctly and functional properly. Device drivers are specific to operating system and they run with system-wide privileges. The failure of a device driver can render even the most sophisticated and expensive device useless, and when malfunctioning device drivers can affect computer reliability and could stop the computer from operating properly. Device driver is basically a small software which has all the information about that particular device. Now whenever we add any device in our computer, basically computer don't know anything about that device. What is that device and how it is going to work and how to use that device, what are the how to use those device, those codes and scripts to use those device. So our machine, our computer don't know anything about it unless when we put the driver for that device. So when we install the driver for that device, so our operating system understands that how and what is that device and how it is going to work and how to use that device. Now these device drivers are operating system specific. That means it is a different driver for the different Windows machines, like different drivers for different operating systems. Like drivers for the Windows will not work in a Linux system. They will have a different drivers. So device drivers, this Windows operating system has two layers. One, the kernel mode, which is privileged and it has full access to the entire system. And the user mode, in which user apps and administrative tools run. In any operating system, the base of the operating system is kernel. Kernel is a code which is the base code which use the hardware, which works with the hardware. So in basically we most of the time we set operating system as a kernel. We can also call operating system as a kernel. So kernel is the base program which interacts with the hardware and convert the output to understandable language which we understand, and whatever input we provide in our language, it will convert it into machine language and make use of that devices. So the kernel mode means it is the most privileged mode where it is having all the access of the entire system. Then device drivers that runs on kernel mode will get the whole access. Then the user mode, where we have apps and administrative tools runs. So on the kernel we have other applications and administrative tools where we work on it. So we give input through these other apps or administrative tools, and then that tools or apps will give the input to kernel, and kernel give the input to hardware, and hardware works on that input, and when output comes out from that hardware, it will go to kernel, and kernel will transfer the output to these apps and administrative tools. From there we will get the output. So some drivers, these drivers, operating system has two layers. So this is the two layers where the drivers works. So the kernel mode includes the hardware abstraction layer, HAL, which separates the operating system from the physical hardware, and the HAL allows an operating system to use and interact with different hardware and devices, and it is used common interfaces to communicate with device drivers. Now driver package. Driver packages is a set of files that makes up a device driver. A driver package is device specific and enables Windows 10 to communicate with the device. A driver packages include the device setup information, that is .inf file, then any files that the INF file references, including dynamic link libraries DLLs with the .sys extension, Then the driver catalog, that is .cat file, that contains the digital signature of that device drivers. So when we call about packages, driver packages, that means the package means different files, a combined pack of the different files which used to enable the driver, which used to have a driver. And these drivers are different than the devices, like each devices will have a different drivers. So these drivers are for different drivers, and the packages contain these different files. .inf file, which has an information about the setup, like how to set up the driver. Then the setup requires some dynamic link files like library files. So those library files will be has .sys files, and then there is a catalog file that is with the .cat file, which contains the digital signature of the driver. That is important to have a secure driver. If you make a wrong driver, if you install unsigned driver, unsigned, that means it is not signed by the Microsoft and that is not recommended by Microsoft, that could harm your driver, that could harm your hardware and your security also. So that is, cat file contains the digital signature, which is very important. So this combination of these files called what? The driver packages. Then we have a driver store. The driver store is the Windows 10 driver package repository. The driver store is a trusted location, so when you connect compatible hardware, Windows 10 installs the driver from the appropriate device automatically from the driver store. The standard users can install any device drivers from the driver store. Therefore, if the driver package that users require is in the driver store, they can attach and use new devices without any help from their information technology help desk. And IT administrators can preload their organization drivers store with necessary driver packages for commonly used devices. The driver store is located under this location. Now under this location, that is a system root. Now system root, where your operating system is installed. So basically it is under C drive, and there is a Windows folder. So system root is basically C, under C drive, Windows folder. And under that Windows folder you have system32 folder, and in that we have a driver store. So this driver store contains all the drivers which is by default there, or we can install additional drivers also there. It is basically has all the drivers which our Windows 10 supports and comes with by default. So by default it contains all the drivers. So basically when you install Windows 10 in some machine, it gets all the drivers. It does not require another drivers to install. Mostly it gets all the drivers installed because they are already there in the store, and it also contains many other drivers there. So if you connect those devices, it automatically detect the device and automatically install the driver from the driver store. And you don't have to install those drivers separately. But still it is not having most of the drivers. Suppose if I buy a new graphic card, like a graphic card, and if I attach that graphic card, so it will not install the driver from the driver store because it is not there. So those kind of devices or those kind of different devices comes with their own device drivers. So to work with those devices, we need to install the driver for those devices. And sometimes suppose you connect some device and automatically it will start work, because the drivers for that device is in the device store. This driver store is already there. Now, tools for managing the devices. So in most cases, Windows 10 automatically detect and connect devices and installs its device drivers automatically, because most of the drivers are already there in the driver store. Then Windows 10 has several tools that you can use if you need to list installed devices. and change the device settings or troubleshoot devices that do not work correctly. So device manager is the most widely used tool for this purpose. This device manager is to view the devices, their drivers, details, settings and events, and enable and disable devices, install, update, uninstall and roll back device drivers. This is for troubleshoot device issues and manage the devices locally only. This do what? Manages the devices local only. Other tools including what? PowerShell. We can use PowerShell also for managing the devices, and also we can use devcon.exe tool. Now this devcon tool is not available by default in Windows. If you want to manage if you want to use it, then you have to download it from Microsoft. It is not there in by default. It is not there in Windows 10. PowerShell is there. Then also you can use remote desktop or Windows PowerShell remoting. This is for managing the devices or even managing the whole computer from remotely. Remote desktop will do what? It will give you the graphical interface of other machine to your machine. That means if suppose there is a machine in some location where you are not able to go there, but you are connected through the network, then you want to manage that machine, then you can use remote desktop feature to connect that machine graphically. Remember, graphically, that means it will show you the desktop of that machine graphically. In other case, if you don't want graphically, then you can go for Windows PowerShell remoting. It is a PowerShell, it is remote PowerShell. That means you will connect the remote machine by using the PowerShell, and then whatever the command you run on the current in your PowerShell, that locally PowerShell, it will execute on that remote machine. But before that you have to connect that machine first, and then you can run any command on that machine remotely. So you can manage the device drivers also and devices also from that PowerShell, and you can do that remotely also. So the first thing is device manager. So you can use a device manager to install and update device drivers, disable or enable devices, use the driver rollback feature, and change the resources that devices use, such as interrupt request, and troubleshoot device problems. Now if you want to open the device manager, so you can open it by right clicking on start icon, and then you will see the device manager, and you can open the device manager from there. Or you can start typing. You press the click on start button and then start typing device manager or devmgmt.msc, and then press enter when you see the device manager. Then also you can click the device manager node in the computer management tool. Let's see that. So we can open it by right clicking on start, and we can get the device manager from here. Or we can just click on this search button and we can start searching device manager, and you are still typing, and then you will get this here, and you can open it. Or you can type devmgmt.msc. So you can open with this or this, both will take you to the device manager. This devmgmt.msc you can run, you can type by using this Windows run devmgmt.msc, and it will open. And it will open the device manager. So this is your device manager, where you can see all the devices connected to your computer. This is your computer and this is the computer name. And under the computer you can see I can minimize it and I can maximize it. So under the computer, these are the devices I have, and these are the system devices. So these are the all the devices I have connected, and I can see all these devices here. I have audio input output, I have batteries, Bluetooth, computer, disk drivers, display, DVD, human interface, ID, ATA, and ATAP, I controllers, keyboards, mice and other pointing devices, monitor, network adapter, ports, print pools, and processor, software devices, and sound and video game controller, and storage controller, system devices, universal serial bus controller, USB controller. So these are the drivers I have, these are the devices I have, and if I click on this, so I can see this is the driver installed for my keyboard. These are the USB and pointing devices. These are the mouse and pointing devices. Drivers are there installed. This is the monitor driver. For the monitor, this is the network drivers which is installed for the network devices. I have Bluetooth device, I have Ethernet interface, I have Gigabit Ethernet interface. So these are already there and these are installed. So this is what the drivers we have. We can check the device and we can check the device drivers. We can check the details of the device drivers by right clicking on it and going to the properties of the driver, and we can check the detail of that driver. It says that this is a standard PS2 keyboard, device type is keyboard, manufacturer is standard keyboard, location. It is not showing the manufacturer because it is virtual. So it is virtual machine, so it is not showing that, but in real machine it will show you the manufacturer also. Then this is the details of the driver, like this is the driver provider Microsoft, the driver date, driver version, and digital signer is also Microsoft. What we can do with the drivers, we can get the details of the driver. These are the files of the driver we can see. These are the driver files, and this is the detail of the driver. Provider, version, copyright, digital signature, and this is another file for the driver is this. Then we can update the driver. So if you get any update, so you can update the driver for the newer version. And if suppose you update your driver and if it is not working properly, then you can go and roll back the driver also. You can disable the device. You will not be disabled because this is your basic device. This is your keyboard. If you disable it, you will not be able to do anything. So you are not getting this option to disable, but if you are having anything else, then you can disable it. You can also uninstall the device. This is what this will uninstall the driver, and you will do this when you are having like your driver is not working properly. You can see the detail of the device by searching in the properties like device description. Description is this, and you can go for any other thing like I can say capabilities. So this is the capability. I can check the driver date. This is the date. So we can check the detail here. Display name. This is the display name. Manufacturer. And safe removal required, false. You can anytime remove the device. Then you can see the events, whatever the event happened related to this device. So you can check those events, and also you can check the resources. So you can see the detail of the driver here. Now you can also use to manage the devices by using the device and printing tool. After you connect an external device, it appears in device and printers in the control panel, and you can use this tool to add a printer manually, and if Windows does not detect it automatically. So this can occur if you are sharing the printer over a network, and additionally device and printers displays malfunctions multi-functions devices and lets you manage them as one device, and as opposed to managing an individual printer, scanner or a fax device. So you can also use this device and printers to manage the devices. Mostly it is for the printers. So when you connect the printer, it will automatically install the drivers if it is in the driver store, and if it is not there, then you can manually install the driver from this device and printer tool. Let me show you that also. So that device and printer tool is under control panel. So control panel is here. We can search the control panel also by using search option. By typing the control, you can see the control panel. Now in this, if you see this hardware and sound, this is the group, and when you go into this group, you will see driver, devices and printers tool, and when you click on it, you can see the devices here. You can see the desktop. This is our desktop, monitor, microphone, speaker, virtual Bluetooth, VMware, virtual NVE disk, hard disk, mouse, and these are printers and fax machines and all that. These are USB devices. Now basically this is for the printers, and these are the default printers we are having it. This is virtual printers. I'm not having a real printer. So when you install a Windows machine, you will get these virtual printers by default there. This one is to print the document into PDF. That means whenever you do use the print, so it will print the document into PDF, and it can also print it into XPS format, and also it can save the document as a OneNote into OneNote. So these are not a real drivers, these are not a real printers, but these are the virtual printers and virtual fax machine also. But if you have a printer or fax machine, you can connect and you can install the driver. It will install driver automatically if it is in the driver store, and if it is not there, then you have to install the driver. You can get the driver by the manufacturer that who design, who develop, who make that printer. So when you buy any printer or fax, you will get the driver with that, and then you can install it. You can install it from there, and even you can install the device drivers before connecting the device. You can go to here and you can say add printer. This is for printer, like you want to add the printer device driver before you are having a printer, like you are not connected the printer, but you want to add the driver first, and whenever I will connect it, it will detect the device automatically. Now when you select add printer, it is searching for the device, and now it says there is no device found because there is no device connected. Because I have not connected any device, I want to install the driver before connecting it. So we can do that by using this option. It says the printer that I want install isn't listed. That means whatever it is not connected, I want to install that. So I will click it here. So it will say my printer is a little older, help me find it, or because automatically it is going to find. And also this option require when you have a shared printer, that means the printer is shared from the other machine. So other machine, that means that other machine is sharing the printer and you want to use that printer here. So the printer is not connected here. So when you try to search the printer driver here, so when you try to search the printer, then you will not find the printer here in the local machine. So in that case you have to install it like this, and then you will select like this, that select the share printer by name, then you will browse the printer and you will select the printer. You will give the location where the printer is located, and then you will go next and it will install. So when you connect the printer, it will detect automatically, and you can add the driver for that. But if it is not detecting, so you can add the driver manually also, or also you will not detect the printer when you are connecting the network printer, because the network printer is not connected to your machine, it is connected to some other machine. Then now we can have devices section in the setting app, that is under the setting app. So in Windows 10 you can perform very basic device management by using the device section in the setting app. Remember, it is for very basic management, and the interface is optimized for touch and includes links to device manager and devices and printers. So there is an option we have in the setting app where we can do some basic tasks, and it is option is to you can use the touch screen also, and also they are having a link for the device manager and device and printers where you can do the other tasks, and you can add printers, fax and other devices, and specify whether you want to allow users to download drivers over metered connection and be able to configure spelling and autoplay, mouse and touchpad settings. So the device settings are under the setting apps. So when you go to the setting, you have this devices option. So when you click on this devices option, you have these devices which you can manage from here, like Bluetooth and other devices that you can enable or disable Bluetooth. You can connect you can use the mouse, pen, audio. Then you have other devices like generic monitor, network connection, PCI device, controller, USB, Bluetooth adapter and hard disk adapter. And also you can enable this option. This option says download over metered connection. Now suppose you are using it on your mobile devices or tablet, then in mobile devices or tablet you use the mobile network. That means you are using the mobile data, and mobile data is limited. Now these devices will update the driver automatically whenever the driver is available. It is going to update by using the Windows Update. So when your Windows Update updates the drivers, so they can download and update the driver automatically. But suppose you are using it on mobile network, so you are having a limited data. So what you can do, enable this option. It says download over metered connection. That means it will prevent extra charges. Keep this off so device softwares and drivers, info and apps for new devices won't download while you are on metered internet connection. So this option is by default off. So when it is off, so it is not going to download your update for the device drivers when you are on the mobile network. If you are connected to the wireless network, then it will download automatically, but it is not going to download any device drivers when it is on metered network like your mobile network. When you connect to the wireless network, it will download automatically. But if you want to download on mobile metered network also, then you will enable this. So it will do download also on your mobile and metered network also. So it will automatically download the drivers in background. So you have these other options. You have printer and scanner setting where you can add printer. Here you can add Bluetooth or other devices if you like. Here you can add printers. and these are the default printers we have. We can manage the default printer. The Windows will manage the default printer. Again, it is having an option to download it into metered connection for the printer and scanners. Then you have mouse. You have option to select the primary button, which is by default left. You can change it to right. You can cursor speed, you can decrease the cursor speed. You can roll the mouse wheel to scroll. You can change the setting multiple lines at a time. Choose how many lines to scroll each time. You can scroll inactive windows when hover over them. You can choose this also. This is the typing option. These are the spelling, typing, and keyboard option, hardware keyboard option, multi-language text. These are settings related to your keyboard. You want auto correction or not, and these are touch enable. These buttons are touch enable. So if you are using the touch screen, then you can just touch it to enable or disable. Auto correct misspelled word, highlight misspelled word, typing. These are giving you suggestion if you like. Space after I choose the text suggestion, then add a period after a double tap, space bar. So it is already enabled. You want, then you can disable all these settings. Then you have pen and ink Windows ink option. Pen and Windows ink, that means there is a pen device comes. So if you connect the pen device to your Windows, it will automatically detect the driver and it will install the driver. It is already there. There is already installed. So these are the settings to manage the pen, handwriting, and other options. Then you have autoplay option. What you are going to do, the autoplay for all media and devices, removable drives or memory card. So when you connect the removable drive, automatically it will start detecting or detect. Memory card, when you connect, it will automatically detect. You can disable this. USB, this is for USB. You notify me if there is issue connecting to USB device. Now here we have option to go to device and printer also. That means there is a link will take you to the device and printer. So it is having the link for this also, and also it is having the link for the device manager. So this is what we have in setting app. Then we have Windows PowerShell. So in Windows 10 includes several Windows PowerShell commandlets for managing the devices. So we can manage the devices by using the Windows PowerShell, and we can use these different commands to do that. We can enable devices by using this enable PNP devices. Then we can disable the device by using disable PNP device option command. We can get the information about the devices drivers by using get PNP device option. We can display the detailed properties for a PNP device by using get PNP device property. So these are the PowerShell commands we have. We have other commands also. So these are the tools we can use to manage the devices. Now, let's say the main tool is this device manager. From here you can do what? You can manage all the devices and the drivers of those devices. For example, I'll show you something. Now, if you want to add any new device driver, suppose I connect the device and the device is not detecting. So when it is not detecting, then what it will do, it will show you in a question mark here. You will see unknown device here, and when you open it, you will see the question mark here. It will say unknown device. That means what? It is not detecting the device driver, or not detecting the device. because there is no driver for the device. So when you are not having a driver for the device will mark as an unknown device, and you will see the question mark there because it is not detecting the device. Now if it is not detecting the device, then what you have to do is to right click on that device and you will say update the driver. Now when you say update the driver, then you will get these two options: search automatically for device drivers and browse my computer for drivers. Now if you select search automatically, so Windows will search your computer for the best available driver. Now searching for your computer, that means it is going to search in the driver store and install it on your devices. And it can also check the Windows update. So when you select this, it will try to search. Now it is already there and it is the best driver we have and it is already installed there. So it is saying that this is the driver which is the best and it is already installed because it is already installed. So if you are having any device which is not detecting and it is not showing unknown, it is showing unknown device, then you can do that. Now if it is not detecting that from there, so you can go for update driver by using the Windows update. It is going for the internet and it is going for the Windows update to get the driver for that particular device. Now if it is not detecting it from there, sometimes the devices are we purchase the new device, like suppose I purchase the graphic card, new graphic card, and if suppose it is not detecting, then what I can do, when you purchase the new device, so you will get the driver disk for that device, and in that disk you will get the driver for the device. So what you will do, you will select this option, browse my computer for driver, and in that case you have connected the DVD or CD for the driver, and your device driver is there in that DVD. So you will say browse my computer and you will get the location where you are having the driver. So you have it into the DVD. So you will browse and select the DVD folder where you have the driver, and it will include the subfolders also, and then you will press next, and it will detect the driver and it will automatically install the driver. Now in case you want to manually search the driver, that means you want to manually search the driver store for the driver, then you can go here. Now I'm not having the driver here, so I can go with this option, let me pick from a list of available drivers on my computer. This will do what? It will show you all the drivers available for the particular device in the driver store. So you can choose one of them which is best suitable for your device. So you can select this option, and now this is what the most compatible, this is the compatible driver I have for this device, and this is already installed. Now if you want to see the other devices or drivers also, which is not compatible, basically you can click this. Then you can see those other drivers for the keyboard we have in our driver store. We can see here the manufacturer name, as you can see, Acer, ALPS, AT&T, Cherry, Chicony, Compact, Focus, Fujitsu, Keytronic, and when you click on this manufacturer, you will see the model number and the model name for that particular company. So these drivers are already there in our driver store. So you can select which is best suitable for your device, and then you can install it. Now suppose I select Samsung, I select Samsung USB keyboard version, normal keyboard. Now remember, this is not the driver for my keyboard. Now what happens if you install wrong driver? If you install the wrong device driver, then your device will not work. Simply, your device will not work. And your device will not work and the driver is not compatible, then you can see here exclamatory sign on the device option here. When you see the device driver here, you will see the exclamatory sign on it, and that sign means what? The driver is not compatible, and that means you have to reinstall the driver. And remember that when the driver is not compatible, your device will not work. Let me do this. My device is standard keyboard, but I will install this driver on that keyboard, and you will see that it will not work and it will show the exclamatory sign. I will click next, and it is saying that it is not compatible, but I'm doing it purposely. I say yes, and it is installed. It says the hardware will not work until you restart your computer. So I have to restart my computer for this driver to be updated. Not for the all drivers, but some of the important drivers. When you install, you have to reboot the system. Remember, you have to reboot the system. So when I click close, it says you have to restart. So do you want to restart now, or you will restart later? So I say yes. Now you will see it will restart, but the driver is not compatible, so my keyboard will not work. Now my machine is started, and I will try to I am logged in, and we will see what happened to that driver. My keyboard is working, that means the driver is not changed. And what it is doing here, when we rebooting the system, it is reinstalling the right driver automatically. And you can see here, I changed the driver purposely, but it is going back to the original driver again. This is the original driver, so it is going back automatically on the original driver. Let us try for the other device, because the keyboard is the main important device, so it is not trying to uninstall the device driver, wrong driver here. I will go for the Bluetooth device. Okay, let's try to go to the property and drivers, and here this device we can disable also, because this is not the important device we have. Keyboard is the most important device we have. So I will try to install the wrong driver for this Bluetooth device. Browse my computer, let me choose what driver. This is the correct one, and uncompatible. It is retrieving the list. Okay, so these are the other Bluetooth drivers which is not compatible. So I will try to use this one. And reboot. Let's see. And here it is. Now you see it is not required to reboot also. And what it did here, it installed the driver here, and it is saying reboot also. Okay, now what you can see here is the exclamatory sign, and it says that the driver is not compatible and that device will not work. So I will not do, or I'll do the reboot first, then I will correct the problem. Now I will go to device manager again. So now you can see here this exclamatory sign under the yellow triangle, and that means what? The driver is not compatible. It is showing the Motorola 802.11n dual band USB wireless adapter, but it is not that thing. It is the Bluetooth device. So this driver is not compatible for this device. Now what we can do now? So I'll go to the property, and under the driver feature, so here what we can do, we can update the driver to the one which is supported. We can update back the driver to the supported device. So we can click on it and we can go back to the my computer, or even we can go for the search. It will detect and it will install, and it is installed. You can see it is automatically installed the right one. So it has installed the right one automatically, and now our device will start working. So if you are having the right driver, then you can do that. Now suppose I update the driver to something else and that one is not supported. Let's say I will update it again to something else. Which is not supported. I will update it to with this, which is not compatible. Now I did install something which is not compatible, and it is again showing the question, the exclamatory sign there. And again I am not having the proper driver available to re-update it to the original driver. Now in that case we have this option, rollback driver option. This rollback driver option will do what? It will roll back the driver to the previous one. Now this will happen when you install suppose some driver and it is not compatible. Then what you can do, you can roll back to the previous one. Remember, you can roll back only one time. So when you update one driver from the next one and it is not compatible, then you have option to roll back. And this will do what? It will roll back the device driver to one step back, like it will go back to the previous installed driver. And that option was not available now because there was the driver was original driver, but and it was working. Now I have this option to roll back because I have installed the new driver here for this device and it is not compatible. So I have this rollback driver option. So I can do what? I can roll back it. Now when I say roll back, so are you sure you would like to roll back to the previously installed driver? Because maybe the previous one was not working, that's why you update the driver. So it is asking, why are you rolling back? My apps don't work with this driver, previous version of the driver performed better, previous version of the driver seemed more reliable, previous version of the driver had more feature, or for another reason. It is just asking your feedback so that Microsoft can update itself. I will say like it was not working. Okay, and it has now rolled back to the original one, the previous one. And now you see the rollback option is not available. Now it is still not showing the proper, it is still showing the question mark because we have to reboot the driver. We have to reboot whenever we change the driver first time, and we did not reboot it. So you have to reboot the system to fix the problem. So whenever you install the drivers, you have to reboot, and I did not reboot after changing the driver that time. So whenever you install the drivers, you have to reboot the machine. Now because you have to reboot the system after installing the driver, then you can be into some problem also. That means suppose your driver is not compatible and or corrupted driver, then your machine will not start. So the problem will be that your machine will not start. So when you start the Windows 10 computer in safe mode, only a minimum number of devices start, and some of them include these devices. So what you can do, you can troubleshoot the device drivers in safe mode. So some drivers do what? It can corrupt your system also. So in that case your system will not start properly. So when it is not starting, then you are not able to roll back the driver or update the driver, or even you are not able to uninstall the driver which is making the problem. So you can do what? You can go to safe mode of Windows to fix the problem. This is the special kind of mode for Windows where you can do troubleshooting jobs. In this safe mode, all the services of Windows will not work, and even all the devices will also not work. It will start with the minimum services, minimum devices, so that you can troubleshoot your system. So in the safe mode, these are the common devices which will work, like your CD DVD will work, your hard disk, keyboard, mouse will work, and your graphic adapter will work. That means these are the most basic things which is working: keyboard, mouse, hard disk, and your video graphic, and your CD DVD. Now if the failure of the device driver prevents Windows 10 from starting, you can start the computer in safe mode and you can troubleshoot the device driver, which might involve disabling the problematic device before you attempt to start the computer in normal mode. So you can start the machine into safe mode, and then in that mode you can go to the device manager and then you can disable the driver. You can update the driver, or you cannot update it from network, because you see the network is not running there, the network devices are not available. So you have to do first what? You can roll back the driver, or you can do what? You just disable the driver or uninstall the driver which is making a problem, and start the system into normal mode, and then update the driver to the one which is working. So we can do this in safe mode. And to go to safe mode, you can do what? You can hold the shift key and press the restart button, so that it will take you to the safe mode. Then one more thing is that signed drivers. Now device drivers runs with system level privileges and can access files or information on a computer. Remember, the device drivers runs, these are small softwares and they are run in system privilege. System privileges are more than administrator. It is the privilege which is more than administrator. That means administrator, which files administrators don't have permission, the system will have. So when your drivers having the system level permissions, privileges, that means it can access anything. And if any hacker make a fake driver and it is updated in your system, that means what? It can get your system privilege of system level. It can get the system level privilege. The hackers can get the system level privileges. So therefore it is critical to trust the installed drivers, installed device drivers. Trust in this context including two main principles. So when you install any driver, you have to be trust on that driver. That is, this driver is genuine and I can trust on this. And if you don't trust, that means what? It can be, you can find the drivers anywhere on lots of sources on internet, and all of those drivers are not be trusted, because some hackers do what? They make fake drivers and they want you to update the drivers so that they can get the system level privilege of your system. So making sure the trust means authenticity and integrity. Authenticity means this is the guarantee that the package came from its claimed source. That means it is coming from the source which is claiming. Like if it is saying that I am the driver from the Microsoft, so it is rightly from the Microsoft, it is not coming from somewhere else. Integrity, that means this is an assurance that the package is intact and there have been no modification after it release. That means after the release of the driver, nobody has modified the drivers. Hackers do what? They get the genuine driver and they modify the driver to work for them. So integrity makes sure that it is not been modified after it release. And how you will do that? You will do that by using the digitally signed drivers. So when any source or the manufacturer releases the drivers, they digitally sign the driver and they digitally sign from the Microsoft. So if the driver is going to be used in the Microsoft, so the driver must be signed from the Microsoft. So if it is signed from the Microsoft, that means Microsoft is allowing this driver to be used on the Windows machine. So Windows 10 32-bit warns if your driver is not signed. Now if you are using Windows 10 and it is 32-bit operating system, then what it will do, it will only warn you when you try to install any unsigned driver in your system. So it will do what? It will only give you the warning, but it will allow you to install the driver. So suppose you are searching the driver on internet, you are not finding it, and you find it from somewhere, you try to install it, you will get the error saying it is not signed. That means you can't trust on that driver, it could be a harmful driver. But if you are using 32-bit of Windows 10, then it will only give you the warning that this driver is not signed, but it will allow you to install it. But if you are using 64-bit, it is required signed drivers. That means you cannot install any unsigned drivers on Windows 10 64-bit version. Driver signing does not modify the driver functionality. It is just signing the driver, means it is make sure that the driver is available from the source which is it is claiming, and it is not being modified. It is just make sure that authenticity and integrity. Now if you want to check that your machine drivers are all signed by the Microsoft or not, or you want to remove any unsigned drivers, then you can use this. You can go to run by using Windows R key, and then you will use sigverif command, sigverif.exe. It will scan all the drivers, and it will give you the notice if any driver is not signed. Then review the result, and then create a temporary folder for the unsigned drivers if you have, and then manually move any unsigned drivers from this location. This is the location where all the drivers will install, into the temporary folder, and then disable or uninstall associated hardware devices and restart the computer. So first you do what? Run the sigverif command. So when you see any unsigned drivers, then do what? Move those drivers into any temporary folder, and then manually disable those devices by right clicking and disabling the devices by the device manager, and then remove the device drivers, and then restart your computer if you have any unsigned drivers. But if you are using Windows 10 64-bit, it is not the possibility you are having unsigned drivers. You are not able to install it. Let's see this how it works. So to check the signed drivers, we go to Windows Run, and then we will give command sigverif.exe. You can only give sigverif, and it will open this file signature verification. You can click start to start checking the drivers. You can go to advanced, and advanced will show you this, that save the file signature verification result to a log file. So it is going to save the result into this file, sigverif.txt, which you can check after the verification. You can change the location, you can append the existing file, you can override the existing file, you can change these options. Now I'll say yes, start. Now it is checking my all device drivers. Now because I am using 64-bit version of Windows 10, so there is no possibility that I can install this unsigned drivers. It will take time according to your system. Now after finish, it says your files have been scanned and verified as digitally signed. So there is no unsigned drivers I have. But if I want, then I can check the log here, go to advanced, and you can check view logs. So when you see any unsigned drivers are there, and then you can go to the log file and you can check this status, which drivers are not signed. Now you can see the location of those drivers, and if any driver is not signed, then you know the driver is in this folder and this is the name of the driver. So you can copy the drivers into a temporary folder and then you disable and remove those drivers and uninstall it, and then you reboot the system. Your system will be free of unsigned drivers. But right now I'm not having any unsigned drivers here. Then how to add the drivers to the driver store? Now why we add the drivers to driver store? Driver store has the drivers which is already there, and when you connect any device, your device will automatically detect the drivers from that driver store. So sometime what happen, like suppose in your organization you are having 100 machines and you have one device there which is used by some other machine, some users. Now you are the administrator, so what happen, whenever the device connects to one machine, it needs the driver for that device. Now whenever they connect the device, it is not detecting, it has to be installed the driver. The users don't know how to use it, how to install the drivers, so they call every time they call what, administrator. Now you will go there, then you will install the driver for them, then the device will connect to other machine. Now what, again you have to, they will call you again, then you will go there, then you will install the driver on that machine also. Then they remove the device from there. It is a removable, it could be a removable disk driver, removable DVD driver, DVD disk driver or something, or external disk or something. So it is removable. So it is removing from one machine, connecting other machine, and every time they connect to new machine, they call you and you have to install the driver every time. So administrators do, these system administrators do what? In an organizations, they install those drivers which is required by many users and which is not available in driver store by default. So what they do, they can install those drivers previously before adding those devices, before connecting the devices. The administrator will do what? It will add the driver into the driver store, so that whenever the user connect the device, automatically it will install the driver from that driver store. This is the location for the driver store where you can install the device driver. You can install the device driver pre-connecting the device. You can see the device driver store. It is under C drive, system root, that is Windows, and under the system root it is under system 32 directory. So system 32 directory, all the basic drivers which is installed, they will go to this drivers directory. When you install the drivers, they will go to this drivers directory. Here you have all the installed drivers. These are all installed drivers. Now when the drivers are not installed, they are available, they will be under this driver store directory. This is the repository of the all the available drivers, not this one, driver store. And this is what, all the available drivers. So when we connect these devices, automatically it will detect these drivers. Now if it is not there, some device driver is not there, then administrator can manually add the driver there by using this pnputil command. This is CMD command, this is not a PowerShell command, so it can use this pnputil command to add or remove the drivers in the driver store. For doing that, first you need to have a driver file, which is driver your driver INF file. This is the information file for the setup. So you need to have this information file, Then when you can use this information file to install the driver into that driver store. You will use the command pnputil -a and the location of your INF file. It will add the driver into your driver store. Then the location can be either local or remote. That means you can have a driver locally stored or you can remotely connecting the driver. That is only the file, that INF file. So you can install it from here or you can run this any file, location and any INF file. Copy all drivers from that folder. So you can copy a single driver or you can copy the all driver from the folder by using the star.inf command. Now to delete the driver, you use pnputil d command, d and then driver name INF. Now this name you will get when you install the driver. You will get the unique name for that driver, and that name you will give when you want to remove it. And to see all the third-party drivers, you will run pnputil.a command. These are all the third-party drivers. So you have to open the CMD first, and you have to open as a administrator, because this thing only can done by administrator. So run as administrator. And you can check the command pnputil hyphen pnputil a is to add the driver, and to check all the drivers, third party drivers we have, we give E, and it shows all the third-party drivers we have. This is the published name. So if I want to remove this driver, I have to use this name, and to add the driver, I have to use the name and location of the driver INF file. So these are the drivers we have in this machine. And for installing the driver, adding the driver, I will use pnp-a, and then I will use the location of the driver. For example, I am having a driver here on desktop. On desktop I am having this folder, and under the folder I am having these driver files. So let's say I want to install this one. So I will use the path here. I can drag it also to the command prompt for the path, and it is not taking. Let me do again. Okay, so I will type it under C drive, users, and this users desktop, and under this folder I have the name of the driver file is this tablet 2K INF file, and enter, and it is being added. So driver package added successfully, and this is the name, this is the published name. So if I want to remove this driver, then I can remove with this name, not this name. So this is already, now it is installed, and we can check it again by using enumeration command E, and this is the driver which I installed right now, I added right now, and this is for the pen tablet device. You can see it is pen tablet this is for the tablet pointing device. So when you connect the device, it will automatically install this driver, and you don't have to do anything. So this is how we can do what we can add the driver into the driver store. It is not installing the driver, it is just adding the driver into the driver store, When you connect this device, it will automatically install the device driver from this driver store. And if you want to remove this driver, then you need this name, and then you will use the command D, and then you will use that name, and it is now deleted. And you can see now it is not there. Now it is not there, it has been removed. So by using this PNP utility, we can do what? We can add and remove the drivers from the driver store, which will install when the device will connect. So the driver will install from this driver store. So this is what devices and device drivers, and how we can manage this, and how we can add and remove these device drivers.